jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
Good morning, everyone. You tuned into World Combat Sports. Man, it's a Sunday. I know some of y'all in church already, but do me a favor. Lay a prayer for me. You know what I'm saying? As always, as I would do for you. Big shout out to everyone that's holding down that faith in these tough times, man. We definitely got some topics to talk about today. This is World Combat Sports fight recap. You know what I'm saying? We got to get right down to it. Some big topics, man. A full night of fights. You know what I'm saying? Some came out the way we figured. Others we expected more. And then that one fizzled. It burned down to the ground. I think it's done. I gotta start. I have to start off, with my man Blair the Flair Cobbs. You know what I'm saying? I have to get Blair the Flair out the way. Now Blair the Flair, to be honest with you, bro, I was like rocking with all the energy because it was fresh. Is that what we needed in boxing? You know what I'm saying? We needed the mouthpiece to turn up. You know what I'm saying? Firing on all cylinders. You was that garrulous mouthpiece that was out here making buzz. You went to TBV. You know what I'm saying? People were seeing you all over the place, man. And we got it. You looked in shape. You had the persona. You know what I'm saying? You was talking the talk. But in this combat world we live in, right? If you're going to talk the talk, you have to walk it the same way, but more. You have to give the fans, you have to seal that envelope and ship out any doubt that people may have with your talk. Blair wasn't able to do that. Man. He stepped in there with Alex Rocha, 19-1, 13 coming by way of knockouts. He was able to break down Blair the Flair Cobbs, who's now 15-1 with 10 knockouts, scoring a 9th round knockout in the main event on Saturday night at the USC Galen Center in Los Angeles, California. This was one of those fights that it wasn't Jaron Ennis. It wasn't the Errol Spence Jr. None of that. It was an opponent for which we was expecting Blair to blow through. That shit didn't happen at all. Blair was broken down to the point where he was finished in the 9th round. He was dropped in the 8th and he was finished in the 9th round. They gave us action, but you can see that Rocha, he was a much better boxer, much stronger. You know what I'm saying? He started to wear on Blair. And I'm not going to get too deep in the fight because I have other fights I want to talk about more than this. But I really don't know what this kid is going to do right now because, you call Errol Spence a coward. And when you call a man a coward, you have to have something that's inside of you that's a bit hotter than most. You know what I'm saying? The toxicity of it. That poison have to hit quicker than most. And you just don't have it, man. I don't know what you're going to do with your boxing career right now. I have no idea. You're 33, 32 years old. And I don't know. You might become a journeyman now. I don't know. I don't know if it was something that we don't know about that happened in training. I'm trying to give blanketed excuses. I'm trying to help inject some type of reason as to why he was stopped in the ninth round. Now I know from last night to the night they're gonna be all on you, Blair. They're gonna be tap dancing on your back, son, with goddamn football cleats on, and that shit gonna hurt. I know you've been through a lot in life, but last night getting stopped by Rocha after all the shit you was talking, man, like all the talk that went on with you, and you couldn't even make it past Rocha. Man, they're gonna be tap dancing on your back with cleats on, dog. Track spikes. They're gonna be running up and down your back. Then they're gonna say, "Hey, turn over for a second. Let's get that chest, Blair." I'm telling you, man. I don't see Blair doing anything other than that. You know what I'm saying? Possibly being a journeyman. I have no idea. I have no idea on which way to go with where Blair can go. What's next for Blair? Just a quick snippet. This in the ninth round, Rocha nailed Cobbs repeatedly with his right hand. I'm reading the article, doing a clinch that hurt him, causing him to fall to the ropes. Blair was hurt real bad. You know what I'm saying? Rocha then unloaded with a flurry of shots that resulted in the referee stepping in to halt the fight. Cobbs, 32, didn't know where he was at the time, hit the referee a couple of times to the body. Time of the stoppage was 44 seconds of round 9. Welterweight contender Michael McKinson had a tougher time than expected. Defensive mind, Alex Martin or whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into live chat right quick. SB90 in the building. Salute to your WCS. Salute OG. Cobb had how many flaws, man? He's done. I cannot disagree with you on that, SB90. Absolutely. Wholehearted. Down the street, up the street, off the roof, to the ground, jump back up on the roof. Everything, dog. Everything went wrong for goddamn Cobbs. He's done, man. In my opinion, his age and everything, it's just done. He might well just start fighting for a paycheck. He really needs to find a I think Cobb would do well at commentating. You know what I'm saying? If he can commentate, I think he would do well at commentating right now. I know he's gonna get on here and make a statement sooner or later and talk about his career ain't over. Your career may not be over. It's only your first loss. But see, I can't be, a hypocrite once again and say, well, your career is over with one loss. No, it's your age. You know what I'm saying? And the way you lost. Like, that wasn't somebody that was a contender, that was supposed to be a contender with you. You're supposed to win that fight, however, by all means necessary, and move on to a bigger name. You couldn't get it done. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? The Blair Cobb show is over. He had his week in the spotlight. Man, y'all coming in hard. I told you, people going to be tap dancing on you, Blair, with cleats on. Track spikes. You know what I'm saying? Steel toe boots. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be doing what they do, man. They're going to be on your head. Probably shouldn't have done post-fight in the ring. He definitely would still have knocked out. Yeah, it reminds me of freaking Daniel Cormier, man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But moving on. Shout out to Jihad Tucker. Improved his 7th victory. He went in there against an older, 30-year-old strong Tracy McGruder. And Jihad is still a teenager, So what's good for him? He's going in there and fighting what I consider Tracy McGruder to be a tough opponent now. Tracy McGruder was a tough opponent, a grown-ass man. And he still went in there and gave us a show. One thing I like about Jihad, he's not scared to engage, you know what I'm saying, with the boxing encounters with his opponent. Like, he's gonna put on a show. And every now and then, like I told him before, each one of his performances are different. And I know Timothy Bradley has been critical, Andre Ward sometimes, but when you Jahad Tucker, you're not there to please Timothy or Andre all the time. You're there to please the crowd who come and see you fight. So his encounters when he was engaging Tracy in some of the exchanges that he had, they was entertaining. He switches it up and show you a lot on the inside, the outside. Tracy was able to land some punches this boxing. You know what I'm saying? Neither fighter was ever hurt. But the way Jahad Tucker let his hands go, once he starts to get into the rhythm with his opposition, he's gonna be extremely entertaining each fight, because you're not gonna just get off on Jahad and then he's gonna let that shit pass. No, he's gonna get it right back, as you've seen with Tracy. Every time Tracy touched him, he got it right back. Not just one, not just two, not just three. He comes back with multiple punches to get that shit back immediately. You know what I'm saying? And also, you got to entertain the crowd. You have to fucking entertain the crowd, man. They're the ones who coming to see you fight. You have to entertain the crowd. If you don't entertain the crowd and you're busy worrying about what Timothy or Andre is saying, then you have to understand they didn't even pay to get into the arena. They didn't even pay. They got in for free. They went in through the VIP access. They got their room, their plush room, everything. They have whatever they top rank gives them, as far as, their food and accommodations and amenities. And they're good. They didn't even pay. The fighters are there for the consumers, those who are out there sitting in the seats watching you fight. That's what's up. Probably shouldn't have done a post fight. Okay. So shout out to Jahad, man. He picked up the 7. But shout out to Tracy too. Tracy went in there and both fighters fought. You know what I'm saying? It was an entertaining fight. Both fighters, they fought. They mixed it up. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a boring fight. Jahad was just his seventh professional fight, man. He's stepping in there with some tough opposition. He continued to increase his opposition. The one thing about him, he has no losing records on his resume. You know what I'm saying? He's fought no opponents with a losing record, box record. Not a single in 7 professional fights. He don't have one. Hold on for a second. All right. So man, once again, shout out to Team Jahad Tucker, man. Get it done once again and put another, win to your resume. That's what it's about. And once again, pretty much people are gonna remember this right here from Blair. Look, it's not too much that's right what people tell you about getting knocked down. All right. It is some wrong to it, but Blair's gonna have to get through this again, stop by Rocha and see where his career needs to go from then. You know what I'm saying? I want to touch on this too. For what my understanding is that Alexander Usyk and Vasyl Lomachenko have indeed been granted permission to leave their country at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Vasyl Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk have been granted permission to leave, for Usyk to start preparing for Joshua, and for Lomachenko to start preparing for, I guess, Kambosos. Now, this is a bit strange to me, because I keep on hearing that Ryan Garcia, I also keep on saying Ryan Garcia is going to face George Kambosos after he faced Tagu. All right, Tago. So if he's facing Tago and Tago's in line and attached with the Bella, they both are Kambosos and Tago. Which one is fighting who now? I mean, what are we looking at? Because it's not a guarantee that he's going to get past Lomachenko. So, but what I'm hearing is, they're letting him go to get in fight camp for Kambosos. So, is Kambosos fighting Lomachenko, or he's going to wait for Ryan Garcia? This is the puppetizing of the media once again, where the strings are the primary connection from the mainstream media down to the mid-tier media. But they pretty much put little carrots out there. You know what I'm saying? They dangle headlines and topics for us to grab hold of to. And really, it's not good for our appetite, because a lot of this shit is not human consumption when it comes to the media game. It's not even true. It has no substance to it whatsoever. We hear, Ryan Garcia 1 minute. We was hearing Devin Haney 1 minute. We hearing Vasyl Lomachenko. We don't know who the fuck's fighting who. They've been granted permission, just to let you know it's done. You know what I'm saying? They come and they was over there for like a goddamn week, dressed down in fatigues. I'm gonna tell you, no combat I know lasts that long. I don't know they're gonna come back over here and say, yeah, we went over there and fought. Come on. We're gonna get these media members to sit up there and call them heroes. And they wasn't even over there a full solid month in combat. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they're gonna boost them up, but they won't even boost US military members that's been to combat damn near a year. They won't even boost us up. You know what I'm saying? They can't relate. But since they cover boxing, they're gonna come back and talk about Lomachenko and Usyk are heroes, what they did and all that. Man, look, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that political arena, but you already know what it is. You know how I feel about that. Go over here and get all this prestige, and somebody's gonna attempt to probably get them an award. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna recognize them for their efforts, the actions that they took to go over there. And come on, from what I understood, that Lomachenko was on the security detail. Security detail where? Inside on the base, inside garrison in the rear. Anyway, I'm not mad at them for asking permission to come back. I mean, do what you want to do. Warwick went over there and took pictures. I haven't seen no pictures of them on the front line firing no weapons. Anyway, I haven't seen none of that shit. But people gonna be up here trying to hail them as a hero. We got plenty of heroes here in the US. They don't get no recognition at all, man. Mr. Pass on deck, what's good? Salute WCS, good show yesterday. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who pulled up yesterday, man. Real talk. Had the whole crew up here. That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Had the whole crew up here. Legend Roy Jones Jr., his pupils, Michael Williams Jr., Buck 50, Fernando Bunch, Andrew Murphy, and the one and only Michael Williams Sr. All of us was here. Whole team was here. Bruce, Gaz, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Peace, my brother, World Combat Sports. Peace to you, Bruce. Y'all definitely go check out Bruce, Gaz, Boxing, Jazz, and more, man. Check him out. Sub to his channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Support him. Next, once again, shout out to getting that 7th victory. Keep it moving, man. Keep on entertaining and everything that goes along with that. You know what it is. Always support, man. Let's talk about, it's not even the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? This is not even an elephant in the room. Real talk. This is just the elephant. Because elephants are very, very extremely smart creatures. We're talking about elephants can walk for miles and miles, and they can relocate water. Even from being in that area for quite some time, they can retrace. You know what I'm saying? They can retrace and go find water in the most extreme conditions. I want to talk about Edgar Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? Once again, when you're doing this media shit, you try to be as neutral as possible. You know what I'm saying? But let me first start off. with an article for Boxer Scene. It said Edgar Berlanga sold out the Hulu Theater. They say Edgar sold it out. You know what I'm saying? Edgar Berlanga sold out the Hulu Theater in Madison Square Garden to the tune of 5,158 fans. Berlanga prevailed via 10-round unanimous decision, 96-94 and 97-93 two times over Steve Rose in the main event. It wasn't the sterling knockout Berlanga saw, but it was an important step for Brooklyn native. Berlanga 19-0, 16 knockouts, tore his bicep last October against Marcelo Esteban Caceres and spent the last 12 weeks training in Las Vegas. The bicep injury did not flare up. As Berlanga stalked the Canadian veteran, Rose had pockets of success, especially with the right hand to Berlanga's head and midsection. Berlanga was never able to hurt Rose, who was able to use his movement and defensive abilities to avoid big punchers and incoming bombs. The unbeaten Puerto Rican fighter now moves forward to a potential June 11th date. Berlanga explained that he wasn't able to connect with his usual big punches because Rose was fighting scared. You could tell that he was fighting scared. Every time I reached in or threw something, he pulled back, running the whole fight. I was looking for a big shot. My corner was telling me to use the jab. My elbow was bothering me a bit. He was a scared fighter. It's tough to land shots when you're scared. When he's scared, moving back. When he fought Triple G, he brought it to Triple G. With me, he tried to use that running tactic. My elbow was starting to hurt me in this second round, but no excuses. We got the bicep torn in the last fight. Came back in 4 months and got it. Now, this is my deal with Berlanga, bro. Man, you are showing that you are definitely a flat-footed fighter. As much as many times I've seen Berlanga in person, like I don't have anything bad to say about him as a person, but as a fighter, Berlanga has to switch a lot of things up. He's a flat-footed fighter without active hands. You know what I'm saying? At least be a flat-footed fighter and be unpredictable once you are beginning to set up your punches. That first punch being a jab. Sometimes Edgar Berlanga sticks the jab out there half-heartedly. You know what I'm saying? Very lethargic. It doesn't, you don't have to put speed on every punch. But when Berlanga throws that jab, it's just always just as an attention gainer. Nothing. There's nothing more. They set up the right hand. He just toss it out there with hardly any conviction. And then sometimes he'll toss it. He'll shoot the jab out there to the body. He'll shoot it to the head. And it has pretty decent speed on it. It has authority. But we're talking about the amount of times that he actually gives us that authoritative energy. It's not much. I don't know why Berlanga is such a flat-footed fighter in that weight division, but it's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble for Berlanga in that division to fight the way he fights. He literally has no boxing know-how on the inside. He needs to get somebody to work with him on the inside, man, and learn how to box on the inside. Because like I said before, when he gets close to his opponent and his opponents are moving, you know what I'm saying? They're powering up that motor. They're on the body or whatever. Berlanga always has to slide that right foot back, to try to set up the right hand. You have two hands that's basically extended from your. You have two arms that's basically extended from your shoulder region. You have two hands to do work. You're trying to tell me that his people doesn't see that he needs to learn how to box on the inside, especially being in a heavier weight division? You have to learn how to box on the inside. You're not always going to be able to get the power punch. You're not always going to get that signed, sealed, delivered right hand package that you're looking for. It's difficult, especially what we seen with Damon Nichols. Damon Nichols, man, he kind of showed a lot. You know what I'm saying, in boxing. And then, his last opponent, and even Rose. Rose last night boxed him. When he threw his jab, he made it punctual, man. He punctuated that jab. Edgar Berlanga say Steve Rose was freaking running, but he can't even cut off the ring. Bruh, what's going on in that gym? Like, why are they not teaching you how to cut off the ring? It doesn't take much there, Edgar. All you have to do is switch directions, like learn how to cut off the ring and learn how to basically double up on your jab more often than none. More often. Pop, 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 pop. Get into that rhythm. Get that jab out there, not just throwing one jab to the body, one jab up top to the body. Let me just wait, and look and see what Steve Rose is going to do. So you can try to catch him coming in with a counter right hand. But if you got power, you got power, man. Where is it? You have to learn how to damn squeeze that trigger in both hands. Now another thing that I seen Edgar do his execution that was out there was I seen him switching stances and shit. I seen him switch to southpaw a little bit. And I seen him go back to orthodox. I think he was the one that was confused. At the end of the day, it just seems like he was very much confused on how he was going to go about getting inside on the active Rose, Steve Rose. It seems like he didn't have a plan in there on how he was going to get close to the Rose unless he was up against the ropes. And then when he got up against the ropes, it wasn't like Rose was tying up like he was desperate, like he felt that he was in danger or something like that. He wasn't just clenching out of desperation and anxiety. It was times in there where Berlanga could have worked, but it just seems like he gets in the clinch and he doesn't let his hands go, man. Like if you got power, bang it out to the body, man, and then the head will come to you. I don't want to give Edgar Berlanga that O word. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give him the O word. I want to wait till it comes up. His next fight comes up because he's 19-0 right now. He has 19 victories now. When he start, if people really want to start like switching it up the right way, because when you talk about his division, people are not really throwing him in there with fighting the big competition right now. They're not doing it. They're not throwing his name up in there like that. I don't want to use the O word on Berlanga right quick. You know what I'm saying? I know yesterday Timothy Bradley said we should change his name from the Chosen One to what did he say? The Chosen One to the Scared One or something like that. I was like, wow, that's coming from Timothy Bradley, not me. That's coming from Timothy Bradley, not me. You know what I'm saying? But let's just look at it this way. Can he step in there with a Demetrius Andrade right quick? Demetrius about to go in there. I'm gonna get on this later, but Demetrius Andrade, could he step in there with a Demetrius Andrade, a Caleb Plant, a Billy Joe Saunders? You know what I'm saying? Could he step in there with a David Lemieux? I mean, who could he step in there that's a top name that we can really give Edgar Berlanga a true assessment of his skills? Because I'm going to tell you what I was reading online. A lot of people just turning their back on Edgar. Like he was in his hometown, but what happened when you're not in your hometown and you don't have that loud, that loud, cheerful audience who's frenetic out there on their feet clapping to give you that energy that you need? What happens to that? If you're fighting like this in your hometown, in your backyard, and you can't pull it together, and you can't source that energy to goddamn turn and go to your core and say, shit, I'm having chill bumps right now. If they can't give you that out of body experience so you can just turn up on your opponent, what are you going to do when you in somebody else's backyard and they booing you and shit and you in a tough ass fight? I mean, I see boxers jump rope all the time, right? And I'm pretty sure if you saw Berlanga at a club, he can dance. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because one thing Berlanga has is swag. You know, Berlanga has the swaggadocious effect right now. To the culture, is a lot of people that fuck with Berlanga. So what I'm trying to say is, I know you can dance a little bit, but why can't you box on your toes? Why can't you move around and give us something, dog? Just give us something, Edgar. Like, give us a side to side. Switch it up. You know, get in rhythm, man. Get on the balls of your feet. I know you're not up in the club dancing like that. You ain't a stiff individual like that, bro. You ain't in there acting like you can't freaking dance a little. I swear to God, man, the best kept secret in boxing, man, these fighters need to go to dance class, man. These trainers need to put these fighters in dance classes so they can learn how to fucking move and groove. Because boxing and rhythm is a dance and a eurythmic art within itself. For real. That's one of the pluses Jahai has. You know, he's able to move and groove and do things like real up close and personal, and he can get away with it because he has very solid footwork. You know what I'm saying? These fighters need to go to rhythm. They basically compliment Lomachenko from his father sending him to dance school and learning. And what they do, they compliment Lomachenko all the time for his footwork. Teofimo Lopez, he has good footwork. King Mitch on deck, man. I see you. I see you, bro. Berlanga's comp got a little better. His effectiveness got a lot worse. I agree with that, bro. I was never on board Berlanga hype train. You know, when a fighter has those you know, his wins to equal his knockouts, then of course, if you're a hardcore boxing fanatic, you look at his record, you assess his record, and then you keep it moving and watch how he performs against his increased or advanced level of competition. That's all. King Mitch on deck. I had Rose winning 6-4. Let's see. I had Rose winning 6-4, and that's been generous to Berlanga. I can't say I had Rose winning 6-4. He was effective, you know, in a lot of exchanges. You know what? I can't even really truly 100% say you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I have to watch the fight again. I just finished watching it. I just have to watch it without having a sense of appointment. You know what I'm saying? I have to watch when I don't have shit to do. I was watching before I got on live, and I was just trying to see some things. And Rose was pretty damn active, man. When he was popping his jab out there, you know, he was giving Berlanga problems. And also he was able to land some good power shots. But what was crazy is that Berlanga says the boxing scene that Steve Rose was running, and he was running scared. But yet, if you're the monster, what do monsters do? Monsters seek out. They're predatorial entities. They seek out. You just can't say Rose was up here doing this, that, and the other, and then you couldn't even close the distance. I'm not really sold on Berlanga being a monster, as he call it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. He's in a division right now where you got some heavy hitters, bro. You got some heavy hitters at the top of that, and it's gonna they're gonna be there for a minute. You know, Canelo have all the titles. Canelo might vacate in the next year and a half. It depends on what fights, but you have some heavy hitters up there at 68. You know, I don't even think Edgar Berlanga can defeat Charlo. If Charlo was to move up there and fight Edgar Berlanga, you think the Puerto Rican crowd is not going to come out and see that fight? Hell yeah, they're going to come out and see it. I'm just matching Charlo up with a name that can get him notoriety up there at 68. I don't see Berlanga defeating Charlo, and potentially Charlo might stop Berlanga. Blair flared out last night, got stopped. I gotta start placing bets. I knew his ass would lose. Didn't think he'd get demolished though. He did, bro. He did get demolished, didn't he? Shouts to all the full-time Spence haters that became temporary Blair Flair fans, but they ain't fucking with Blair there, man. I don't know, man. It seems like you taking subliminal shots. I have no idea. That shit, I had to goddamn dip left, dip right on that. That seemed like it was arrows coming my way or something. And like I explained earlier, I wasn't, like that on Blair. I was, hyping him up to do work. Ultimately, I said that he has to back up the talk. He can't come in here, rah, 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 and that's all we getting, and that's all we need. No, you have to fight. You wanted to step in there with McKenson? No. You had Rocha, Alexis Rocha, and he stops you. Drops you in the 8th and stops you in the 9th. It's a bad look, man. If you're in the chat, man, you don't have to take subliminal shots, dog, for real. You don't have to take subliminal shots at the brother, for real. And furthermore, we need to emancipate the term Spence hater, because it's plenty Bud haters. We have more Spence, in more Spence pundits out here in the community that's supporting him than anything. And they send a lot of criticism to the opposite side of the Bud fan base. You know what I'm saying? Because Bud has a fan base. You know what I'm saying? And they always say Spence haters. No, it's just a critique. It's not hating. We need to change up that terminology. You know what I'm saying? We need to put that in legislation over here in the YTC and have that approved by the House and get it out here. Real talk. Berlanga's hype came from being a mythical KO artist. Nobody wants to see him box. He is indeed not the star boxer that has levels. Berlanga is proving he has no levels. Berlanga is a neutral fighter right now. He'll give you the I would say gears 1 and 2, and then he shifts into neutral. Like, we haven't seen him be able to change levels and change gears in fights and give us that early. You know how some people start off slow? Okay, you start off slow, but then you start making those dramatic changes that it starts to show and affect your opponent. Berlanga hasn't showed us that intensity yet. He hasn't showed us that he can break down his opponent with that power he had. Where did the power go? He said his elbow hurt, but no excuses. It was a bicep before, and now it's the elbow. We're gonna call you the goddamn Puerto Rican 10-man when it's all over with. When you walk on, you're gonna be making all that noise. Oh, that's Berlanga. Shit. I thought that was a broken down goddamn 1966 motherfucking Ford Tempo. He come in there, brake squeaking and shit. I'm like, he just need to learn how to fight on his feet. Go to some dance classes, bro. Get your rhythm down so you can start presenting that power from different angles that you feel comfortable with. Right now, you feel comfortable being in a flat-footed stance. So if you have to send that power right hand, you're in a position to do that. Berlanga doesn't have the comfort. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the courage to be able to dance around and shoot, and box really. He doesn't have the comfort zone or the comfortability to box. He's flat-footed. I don't know what this flat-footed shit was. You see how Steve Rose was moving around? He called it running. No, it's not. It's not fucking running. What are you gonna do against Caleb Plant? Caleb Plant has better footwork than freaking Berlanga. I would say Charlo has better footwork than Berlanga. He hasn't even moved up to 68 yet. Now I can tell you somebody that'll match mano a mano for flat-footed fighters, and that'll be David Benavidez. Right now, Anthony Durrell will defeat Edgar Berlanga. There's too many people that's at 68 that would give Berlanga super duper problems, man. You think Errol Spence himself beat Flair the way his fans been celebrating? You think Errol Spence himself beat Blair the way his fans been celebrating? Yeah, I agree with that. Look, you gotta understand on this YTC shit, man. You can take a fighter that haven't even made it to the top, haven't reached that pinnacle yet. You have individuals that you truly don't know if they real legitimate hardcore boxing fans. Some of these people are reality mongerers, you know what I'm saying? They just want to be in the community. Their membership is just to be a part of certain channels and go along with whatever narrative and favorite fighters that they pushing. So Blair was making noise. I'm not mad at the Spence fan base for getting on him because, he was talking shit. He called the man a coward, bro. It's fair game. I have nothing to say about that. It's fair game. Blair talked himself into that beehive, and goddamn it, you need to nurse yourself back to health after you take this weekend of stings, because they're gonna be flying on your ass all fucking week. And you better hope it ain't no murder hornets that's in the goddamn building either, because that ain't gonna feel too good. And when you have a Spence fan base like he does, and Blair calls the man a coward. He called the man a coward, dog. You have to back that shit up, Blair. Steve Rose was a solid opponent for Berlanga. Shouldn't have been, but he's a vet. Berlanga has more work to do. The hype warrants the critique. Just part of the game. Should move him carefully. Well, Steve Rose was a pretty decent step up for Berlanga. Steve Rose only has one loss, bro, to Triple G. That was a step up. Berlanga, he got the job done on the scorecards. I think that was a pretty good step up for Berlanga. And if he wanted to, Berlanga can take a medium touch next time. You know what I'm saying? A soft to medium touch next fight. If he has an elbow problem or whatever that's going to hinder him in June, we're in March already. He has 3 months, a little over 3 months, whatever he's fighting. Let's see what happens. I saw people saying Blair got his karma shit, had nothing to do with karma. Blair was never that good. Maybe a top 25 welterweight. I like to see him fight more good energy for the cameras for sure. He has the mouthpiece, but the mouthpiece has to resonate out into those hands. And with those hands, they have a command center. That command center is your brain. Your brain is connected to your heart. So therefore, in conjunction, you have the brain and the heart working as two units for the same purpose. Blair has to be able to take what's in his head and generate that energy to his hands. Once he learns how to do that and he listens, I don't know if he's listening, but if he listens and just start directly focus on his training, he would be great. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by great, he would be greater than what he was last night. He has a lot going on in his head. When you hear people talk like Blair in his head, you have to be able to generate that to your hands to carry out all the vitriol that you've been speaking about, calling Spence a coward. You have to prove it. If he would have went in there and stopped Rocha, people would say, okay, shit, I guess Blair is the Flair. Boom. Next opponent would have got that much better. Now he still keeps the momentum. But Spence was probably laughing like a motherfucker. From what I heard, he said that Blair was garbage, man. That seems to be the narrative right now when some of these fighters step in there. They trash, they fight, they garbage or whatever. Yeah, man. I ain't I ain't taking subliminal shots at you, Combat. We all saw them boys come out the woodwork once Blair said what he said, though. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, as much as I critique Spence, right, when it comes down to man shit, when you call another man a coward, it has to be a legitimate reason for his actions for you to go there. I didn't see why he would call Spence a coward, though. Like, I wasn't quite sure why Blair was going at him in the stance of a coward, though. That's deep. That's piercing words right there. So if you're going to say you don't like cowards after you call Spence a coward, I'm just trying to find you as a boxer and as a grown ass man, an older grown man to most. Why did you come at him like that? Was it all just, publicity, trash talk, bravado, machismo? What were we talking about? I don't get it with him. But he got stopped bad. He got stopped so bad that he was giving the referee some motherfucking punches to the body. That's when you delirious. You have no idea where you at, man. That's real bad for Blair, man. Real bad. He went out again. He was hurt in another fight. People gonna start saying they don't respect your chin. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay on your feet. You always been a hype job. He's in for it. This week right here is gonna be tough for Blair. Like a lot of fighters, man. It's gonna be tough, bro. Berlanga has no boxing identity. He can't KO everything he sees. Young fighter though, should be okay if he moves the correct way. Many fights away from title contention. And Mitch say Blair had Rocha looking like HBO Triple G with Jim Lampley on the sidelines commentating. Don't forget Jim Lampley now. Shit. Oh my God, Blair. Man, you know how that is. But he said Berlanga has no boxing identity. He has a huge following over there in his backyard. I seen it, bro. I seen that shit. They love Berlanga. And now you have Xander Zayas. Him and Berlanga's hanging out. You got the Berlanga, Xander Zayas, and a Nico Ali Wash. You have these fighters that's hanging together and building one another. You know what I'm saying? They're all blending in their fan base. For real, Berlanga has an incredible fan base, bro. When you see Berlanga walk in the motherfucking building, he walks in there celebrity A status. For real. I mean, I'm not lying to you. I've seen it. And his boy Pablo, pretty boy, him the same way. You see him walk in the building, hey, look like celebrity A status over there, bro. But the wild part about boxing is you have a lot of fighters that's on the lower tier that has an incredible fan base to the naked eye. Like, I have enough of your fan base to see that people fuck with you. That's what I'm looking at. But that's the fan base you have right now. But until you get on stage and your fan base is so big, you got people cheering that I can't even look around and see what the fuck. Like, all I need is my ears. I'm hearing people cheer for you, and it's just incredible volume in there. That's the fan base that he's yearning for. The fan base I see with the naked eye when he's in his backyard, cool. I know a lot of cats like that down here in the A. I know a lot of cats have a tremendous fan base that rock with them hard. And when they go to these regional fight venues down here and they people come out to see them, man, they cheering the fuck out of them, dog. They cheering the fuck out of them. I'm like, oh shit. I'll be honest, I never had that many people cheer for me because I never was in anything to do that. I'm just saying, it must be nice to walk out in a combat sport and you're competing. You have all these people. It don't matter if it's in a regional level or not. You have all these people cheering you and calling your name and shit. That's Berlanga. When he walked out there in the Hulu Theater, people was cheering and shit. But now, that's 3 fights. That's 3 fights. Even though he stepped up competition, y'all. That's why I'm being reserved with Berlanga and not going in very harshly about him. Because he's stepping up his competition, y'all. He's 19 victories in now. For real, even though he didn't look good against Steve Rose. Steve Rose has 1 loss to Triple G, y'all. Y'all have to give Edgar Berlanga his credit for stepping up the competition. He did not look as we would expect from someone who's the chosen one, who say he's the monster and this, that, and the other. If you want to compare monsters, you put him in there with David Benavidez and he gets stopped. Point blank, period. Just like Mike Tyson said, the Mexican monster. You put Edgar Berlanga in there with the Mexican monster and David Benavidez, he gets stopped. Stylistically, it's bad. It is super bad for Berlanga. He did get a ref a little 3-piece combo at the end. Yeah, he did, man. It was a little, like those of you that ate that church's chicken back in the day. It was like 3 soft rolls. You know what I'm saying? It's like Piccadilly. They ask you, do you want to roll with your meal? You know what I'm saying? White or wheat. It was a little roll. You know what I'm saying? A little soft dessert. Cheesecake. Blair called Spencer a coward because he's a fan and really wants to see that Crawford fight. That's what I think. You never know what Blair silly ass dude's a goof troop. Hey, if he's anything goofy, oh man, the thumbnails are already out. I mean, it's only gonna get worse this week. The thumbnails are already out on Blair. Being Boxing News, what's good? He said Berlanga got exposed. Salute to you pulling up. He got exposed last fight. That being Boxing. Not to devalue your comment, because it is merit in what you're speaking about. It is merit to what you're saying as far as him getting exposed. But he was exposed really when he stepped in there with Damon Nichols and he knocked him down twice but couldn't finish him. That was some type of exposure, right? His last opponent went in there and he was dropped, still won the fight. That was absolutely exposure. And then last night, further exposed what's already been exposed previously. You put exposures on top of one another, and it showed that Berlanga does not have gears. Berlanga does not have gears. He lacks boxing IQ. He lacks boxing IQ at the highest tier right now. He's a flat-footed fighter. He doesn't have alternative methods on how to get in close to his opponent. And then you talk about boxing fundamentals. His coach, Andre Rozier, said, boxing fundamentals. What did you hear Buddy McGruder tell me in the elevator? Nothing beats the fundamentals. Nothing beats the fundamentals. And for Berlanga, the jab. You have to learn how to double, triple up your jab, man. What's wrong with this guy? You got the power. Dude, double, triple up your jab sometime. And then while they're trying to get away from your jab, the right hand will absolutely ring the doorbell, bro. You got to stop just scooting in, scooting in. You're going to get knocked out. They're going to be waiting for the counter, waiting for the counter, waiting for the counter. And then they're switching up. Bro, it behooves you to stay where you're most comfortable in the orthodox stand. It behooves you to stay right where you need to be. You was up there switching into the southpaw, and Rose made you pay for that shit. Mitch say Berlanga has a solid fan base. The identity comment was about his professional style. I heard he boxed more as an amateur. He turned pro and fell in love with the power. I can see that. You know, but even identity in the ring, all the way up to he met Damon Nichols. He had some identity. You know, his identity was his power there, Mitch. You know what I'm saying? His identity was the power. And people was looking at him like, oh my God, this dude is, I never saw that. You know what I'm saying? I never saw this heavy hitter. I just never saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen the Gervonta Davis. We all seen. You see how he's able to change levels. You know what I'm saying? And bait his prey into the trap. You know, he has different traps he's able to set. He is a masterful manipulator, Gervonta Davis, when it comes to fighting. Edgar Berlanga, I don't know what the fuck I don't even know if he understands what the word manipulation is when he's in the ring. I don't know if he understands how to be a magician or not. He cannot even create tricks in there and set traps for his opposition. His shit is so predictable that all his opponent have to do at Rose was stay on the outside, jab, jab, stick, stick, stick. You know, wait the Berlanga to get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Come in, and a lot of times he just send the right hand. Boom. It was a lot of catch and shoots moment that Rose could have had with catching the right hand and then shooting. But hey, he still had success. Mitch say he had Rose winning 6-4. You know what I'm saying? What were some other scorecards in here? Who else has some scorecards from the Rose and Berlanga fight? WCS is Freddie Roach doing training Blair, the Flair, in the cameras, talking shit about Bud. Spence Ortiz, Boots. Meanwhile, Roach on the other side of the gym being recorded saying Ennis is the best. Well, he definitely, from what I understand, he talk his little shit about Ennis. But you know how Roach is, man. If you are being paid to do something, man, come on, who's gonna hold Freddie Roach accountable for anything? He don't give a fuck about none of that. At the end of the day, man, this is entertainment, man. It's reality TV. Ain't nobody fucking with Roach, dog. Roach could go over there and be talking shit about Blair and then come back and say, oh, you look great, Blair. Freddie ain't fucking with none of that. He said, I don't give a fuck what y'all say, man. I'm Freddie Roach, bitch. I agree. Both fighters show he's not who they say he is. Man, Berlanga has a long road, bro. He is a youngin'. I'm not, you can't say he's growing into his strength now. He has strength, but he just needs to grow as a boxer. He needs to he needs to sit down and understands what profession he's in. It is boxing. Boxing allows you to go in there and be the delegator. Everybody learns curriculum different. He needs to sit down and process, just like you look at football film, you know what I'm saying, basketball, boxing, all that. He needs to truly understand the film aspect of different fighters. He needs to look at himself and be able to have somebody critique his performance. Because I heard one time that, that's not something he likes or whatever. He needs to be able to take the critique for himself in order for him to improve. Right now, he's not going to go far with that scoot in, that shuffle style. And then he's not even cutting off the ring. He was following Steve Rose. Man, come on, bro. You have to understand that you have to watch film. You have to, Berlanga. You've seen them continue to rewind your last fight and show that you getting dropped. And you can see the camera that was on Berlanga when he was looking at the TV and he was zoning out. And he was remembering that moment. And they were showing it on the TV. And then he'll snap out of it, and then he'll start, acting like he's listening to some hip hop or something like that. He needs to learn how to dance, man. He needs to learn how to dance. That shuffling in to get your shot, that window is not always going to present itself for you, Berlanga. You have to do more. And the only way you're going to get there is sit your ass down and understand the sport much more in depth. You have to learn the sport that you're in. I'm not talking about the physical learning. I'm talking about the mental learning. Because the two tie in one another. But like I said before, the central command system is the brain. You have to understand the process what you're looking at, dog. You have so many options, bro. Looked like Berlanga was waiting for that one knockout. Not anymore, son. That's the end of the road for that now. He's stepping up to competition. I agree, bro. He's definitely stepped up. And Steve Rose was a step up. Steve Rose was a step up, bro. Come on. Steve Rose was a step up, man. But he says that he was running scared. It's boxing there, Berlanga. You have to learn how to get in close and cut off the ring and let your hands go. That means your left hand too, bro. You have to learn how to let your hands go in tandem. They have to learn how to be tyrants together. Your left and right need to learn how to do dirt together. They need to learn how to be juveniles and commit criminal acts in the ring together. Right now, you have one that said, you know what, I don't give a fuck. That's your right hand. Your right hand always want to take a lead. Your right hand ain't acting like a team player. The left is willing to get down, but the right hand is pretty much the focal point. The left sitting there watching like, oh shit, I'll just see what the right dude. It seemed like he's more active or whatever. Let me see what the right hand got. No, both of y'all need to act together. Y'all both need to be co-conspirators. Edgar Berlanga need to allow his hands to work as such. They need to be complicit with one another and going in here fighting at the same fucking time, dog. Not the right hand lead, the right. And then every now and then you let the left, okay, soft, Sharman, soft jab. No, you got to send that motherfucker with some authority. That shit have to come through that motherfucker like Mike Tyson's toad. It have to hit your ass like you're a first time smoker and you go to Mike Tyson's hot boxing and he said, okay, let me give you this toad right here. It's gonna get you where you need to be. And you smoke that and you start coughing uncontrollably, gagging and shit. Food from 3 days ago start to come up. You need to get that type of damn reaction from your body. You need to get the shock factor, Berlanga. 6'4" Berlanga edging the fight. Rose took too long to get his rhythm. Okay, that's what Mitch said early. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mitch said earlier. That wasn't me with that 6'4" card for Rose. That was that Bruce Gold, Jazz and Moore. Okay, my bad. I'm taking Bruce's. I thought it was you, Mitch, but that was Bruce. Young fighters running the Freddie Roach is played out nowadays. You better get a team of trainers that really believe in you. Well, it ain't played out because Freddie Roach still getting that bag. No respects to Roach because he's a certified legend in the game. But WTF is he doing even training Blair? That's what he does. Okay, I got you, Bruce. I got you. That's what he does, though, man. Freddie Roach is a trainer. Do you forget at one point in time, Freddie Roach was in the corner of Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury still went in there. I felt that Deontay won that first one, but he was in the corner of that fight. They sourced Freddie Roach because of the mind that he has in boxing. Um, just because Blair the Flair was one of those students who he got from the detention center doesn't take anything away from Freddie Roach. He had to go into the detention center and grab Blair because he already know who he was dealing with. So you can't put it off on Freddie as if he didn't know what he was doing. No, it was Blair the Flair who didn't know what he was doing. You up here trying to put highlights of you sparring this person, that's over. That's over. But back to Edgar Berlanga, man. He was the main event. It could have been more, man. Shout out to Shushu character. He had a tough fight too. There was some times in there where his opponent was getting off on him. And these fighters are early in their career, dog. He got the win. He got the knockout with a solid right left. Ooh wee. Shout out to Shushu, man. God damn, that right left stuck him. It did him dirty. But it is what it is with Berlanga. What I mean by that, it's up to him on whether he chooses to grow more. He's gonna have to sit down and be able to take critique. I don't know if he's that guy. I don't know if Edgar's taking critique well. We see him over there with Mickey Bay. I don't know if he's receiving instruction well. I don't know, man. Like it's a lot on some of these fighters who get wrapped up in the popularity of the culture. And I know for a fact Edgar Berlanga is a part of the culture, dog. Edgar Berlanga is a part of the culture. Sometimes being a part of the culture, you may not be putting in the work that you need to be putting in. Like, yeah, people can show you on the mitts. Yeah. But if you ain't putting in that Floyd Mayweather goddamn dedication, you might not grow. Floyd up there ordering freaking bottles and shit in the club and not even taking one sip and then leaving the motherfucking club and going running. I'm not going to lie to you. This is no fucking cap. God is my witness. I used to look, sometimes when I left the club, this is a weird, I wouldn't even call it a disorder. It was just the only thing I can relate to is, I don't know what to relate it to. But sometimes I used to leave the club and I had some drinks. And I get back to the point. I remember sometimes I get back. This was every so often though, because I used to run a lot, stay in shape. I go get my PT gear on and I go for a run. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. The first mile was crucial. I don't know how many times I throwed up when I was in DC, running through the streets of the DMV. I went running. I remember running down by Arlington Cemetery and I goddamn had Hennessy, tequila, Crown Royal, Paul Masson. Goddamn, all that shit was coming out my pores. But after that mile and a half, man, I was full blown. Bow. I was gone. Went back, showered, ready to go to work. I used to come back from the club intoxicated whenever that was. And I always used to want to go for a run. Because I said, I got to learn how to fight through, train my brain to fight through some shit that's not comfortable. I'm talking about dry mouth, everything. Just goddamn boom, hit the street, throw a camel pack on and hit the street and watch all that shit come out your system. Like that's one of the best ways to sober up, but not many people are going to do it because they like hitting that bed. You just go get it done. Edgar Berlanga, he has to switch it up and go through some extreme shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. He's not going to be a superstar like that if he's incapable of jumping outside the comfort of his schedule. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he does at nighttime. I know I looked at his chick, whoever she is. I don't know if that's his wife or girl. I don't get in motherfuckers, but she was bad. And that's one thing about boxing. A bad chick. People tune in because they see what's on your hip, walking beside you, and they show you mad love. It's like, God damn, Shawty bad. Damn. But then when you get in the ring, in order for Shawty to stay there, you got to keep winning. That guy Eclipse in the house. What's good with it? OG, how you feeling, bro? He said, Peace WCS Berlanga looked like an easy win for whoever wants his belt. Cobbs was terrible. Bruce Carrington was amazing, and Xander Zayas did his thing. Yeah, man. Bruce Carrington, man, his finish was nice. He was in there with a dude that was game for a minute. But shout out to Shoo getting it done. I mean, a spectacular finish, man. Brutal finish. Xander Zayas, man, Xander is another one. Xander Zayas, in my opinion, Xander Zayas' boxing IQ is higher than Edgar Berlanga's. Xander Zayas' mentality when it comes to the sport that he's growing in, and he's only 19 freaking years old, is higher than Berlanga's. Seriously. The mentality of Zayas, he understands what he needs to learn, and he's willing to go in there and let you see why he's out there delegating his curriculum. He's executing his curriculum. He's a very smart individual. I put his boxing IQ over Berlanga. He doesn't have that predictable damn skill set that Berlanga has. Xander Zayas, he doesn't have it. Berlanga is way more, in my opinion, way more exciting than Edgar Berlanga. And he has the potential of being a superstar. He's not a prospect no more. The man fought 6 times last year. Xander Zayas is not a prospect. He has all the potential of being a mega star if he continues to go about and improve and improve and improve. He has that potential, man. Shout out to Edgar Berlanga getting that victory. I mean, Xander Zayas. I was gonna say him the last, but somebody brought him up. King Mitch and Andrew Charles, what up? Eclipse, what up? Yeah, man, that's how I see it with that. Overall, it was a pretty decent card. You know what I'm saying? I did get to see Jared Anderson. If y'all don't know, Jared Anderson is a top-ranked fighter, and he's fighting Christian Hammer. From my understanding, he's fighting Christian Hammer next. So with that being said, Christian Hammer, if you don't remember, I think right now with Christian Hammer, let me see what's his record right now? Christian Hammer record is 26-9 defeats. So what I know from Christian Hammer is a German fighter who's been in there with the top names and lost. He's lost to the Frank Sanchez, the Hughie Fury. I'm just saying top names and generalizing, okay? Don't castigate a brother. Tony Yoka, Luis Ortiz, Alexander Povetkin. You know what I'm saying? Top names. Tyson Fury, he's lost. You know what I'm saying? But he has some experience on his resume. So Jared Anderson is taking a step up in experience for sure. He is taking up, he's stepping up for experience. So this is I want to see. Hughie Fury, it was a retired in the corner in October 2021. And then early this year in January, Frank Sanchez won a unanimous decision win over Christian Hammer. So Jared Anderson is next in line to fight this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's 34 years old. And this is a good look for Jared Anderson, in my opinion. For real. It's a good look. Even though he's coming off 2 losses already. I think it's a good look for Jared Anderson. He's steadily increasing his competition now. You know what I'm saying? He's getting to a common opponent. He's getting to common opponents. You know, common opponents of Frank Sanchez, like I said, Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, you know, Tony Yoka. I mean, he's getting into common opponents. That's what you got to do in boxing. So geared up to Jared Anderson, man, taking a step up, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's coming off a loss to Frank Sanchez, who is undefeated. And also, they made the point as a heavyweight fighter that, you know, he's showing his abs and stuff like that. Yeah, we seen that before, that Jared. We seen abs before. We seen Joshua come in here and try to be this boxing Adonis, this freaking model. And it went left quick. He didn't have no cardio. You seem to wear your boxing physique well. Boxing is a division where you can have an extreme amount of pounds that gaps you from what you balance the scales at by what your opponent is weighing. In boxing, heavyweight division, they can come in there 30 pounds below their opponent. Jared Anderson's, I mean, he's not extremely low, you know what I'm saying, in the low 200s, but he's not the biggest heavyweight that's out there either. But what we're seeing, he has the speed. You know what I'm saying? We're still trying to see what happens when he gets taken, you know, into deep waters with a very educated boxer who still has a reputable record. But right now, he's doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he's supposed to do. So watch out for Jared Anderson. His next fight is Christian Hammer, man. Yeah, Shushu and Xander showed up and showed out. Berlanga was slow, had bad footwork. He don't have no footwork at all, OG. He had a low output. I'm worried that he is in a corner where he needs to fight better people, but he's not ready. In my opinion, that OJ, he fought Steven Rose, who was better. Like, you talking about a guy who was knocked down, right? He was knocked down in his last fight. Finish, and then he steps up. He didn't go for a super soft touch. You know what I'm saying? He was knocked down and he came in here for Steve Rose. Like, I got to give him his credit for that. Real talk. I have to give him his credit for that, bro. 168 is already a sweet division. Berlanga height will work against him in that division, especially if he isn't looking like the monster he's claiming to be versus lower competition. Hey, talk your shit, man. I agree with that. Check the box, god damn it. I agree, that 168-pound division, it's not the super duper, you know, califragilistic espiacidosis or whatever. But if you are carrying around that you're saying you're a monster, you're going to have to prove it, especially when it comes to, you know, David Benavidez. I don't know how long David going to be up there. But right now, he should not even go nowhere close to David Benavidez, man. And then, you know, like I said before, it'll be a great fight. Charlos want to be a part of the Latino nation, the Hispanic nation. Go fight motherfucking Edgar Berlanga on your first fight up. Fuck it. Man, you talking about fan base. You want to talk about people. Come on. Black, Hispanic. Come on, bro. You got the Texas and then you got NYC. Man, come on. That's perfect. That's perfect for a step up, dog. Not no Selecki. What Soldier Boy said? Selecki? No Selecki. No, man, go over there and fight Berlanga. They won't take the fight, though. He ain't ready for no Charlo. Even with Charlo moving up from 60. And they got Eclipse. Exactly. His hype has him getting matched with top fighters. There's only a few in the division. He needs to be moved like Golden Shower Girl promotion fighter, though. Man, hey, when you get that hype and you get that steam behind you, you have to look at where Berlanga was and where he's at. I have to reiterate this, all right? He is 19 victories in. Steve Rose was a step up. He only lost to Triple G, dog. Triple G has one loss to Canelo, y'all. Come on, man. Y'all stop tripping. Come on, man. He's been taking step up fights since Deadman Nichols. Real talk. I have to give Berlanga that, man. That's respect. I still have that respect. He went the distance after knocking him down, couldn't stop him. Boom, went in there with another one. You know, face adversity, touched the canvas, got it done. Then he stepped in there with Steve Rhodes. That's a tough 3 fights, bro. That is a tough 3 fights for damn Berlanga. Yes, Berlanga not ready for the top guys in the division. Maybe for some smaller guys moving up from the middle or names willing to move down from 175. There ain't many though. I mean, who has a name that we need, that we truly want to see move down from 175, that we interested in seeing? And then if you're talking about, you know, individuals moving up from 60, like I said before, the one big name that would be a good fight for Berlanga if he's ready is the face of Charlo. Seriously. Both of them have O's on their record. You know, it will be a good fight. You know, people saying, okay, Berlanga is a super middleweight for sure. He's been fighting, and Charlo's moving up from 60. But no one's mentioning that. Because what Charlo gonna say? Oh, he has low value. His name has low value. Not really. Berlanga has a following, dog. Berlanga, if anything, Berlanga has a following. Real talk. Let me do some research right quick. Shit I don't even like to go into. Let's go and look something up right quick. So, as I'm looking at it, Jamal Charlo has 468K followers on IG. Edgar Berlanga has 351K. So Mar Charlo edges him out on social media when it comes to IG. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he had Fat Joe walking him out, man. Come on now. Who else he has on his IG? He's sitting ringside. Who else is on here? Andre Ward. That's just photo op. This girl bad though. I ain't gonna lie. She a baddie. This girl is on point. I don't see anything like I don't see any pictures of him running at night. You know, I mean, he got, like I said, he got the swag down. He taking pictures with his people, with the jury and everything else. But this ain't model time. See him with Fab. Tracy Morgan, Lil Wayne. You know, he's all about the culture. Like I said, he has less followers, but I don't put too much emphasis into this IG shit, dog. That's all I'm saying. Let's go over here to Ryan Garcia has 8.7 million. And I really don't know how many of those are legitimate, but I just had to take a dip into the land of social media. You know what I'm saying? But let me get up out this motherfucker. This is not what I do. Because I do understand totally what AI is, artificial intelligence. You know, I was a PC guy when I was in communication. My whole 20 years, that's what I did. I deal with the bits and bytes, IP, goddamn configuration, setting up networks. Yeah, he needs protection, but I think his hype going to force Berlanga to come outside where there's real fighters who will hurt him. True words, man. He's in trouble right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, you stepped up to Steve Rowe. He's in trouble. Let's go look at some things right quick. Let's go do a little search and recon. So, top 15. You know, Berlanga's cracked the top 15 in the WBA. All right. The WBA, he's cracked the top 15. Um, even the neighboring fighters are going to be tough. You know, and we have Zach Parker that's about to step in there with Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is coming up for 160, of course, but him and Zach Parker are supposed to fight in May, I believe. So that's out the question. You have Billy Joe Saunders. I think Billy Joe Saunders is still too smart. I think Billy Joe Saunders is still too smart for Edgar Berlanga right now. You know, regardless of the way he looked against Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders is too smart, in my opinion. Calvin Henderson. And Edgar Berlanga is in the top 10 of the WBO. You know what I'm saying? He's in the top 10 of the WBO. So you got the Zach Parkers, David Benavidez. Do he even beat John Ryder? That'd be a tough fight. That'd be a tough fight. Edgar Berlanga is ranked above Danny Jacobs. How did he fare against Danny Jacobs? Because we all know Danny Jacobs is that name that, he still can fight. He's still tough. You know what I'm saying? How would he look against Danny Jacobs? Lerone Riches. It's going to get interesting for Berlanga moving on. It's going to get interesting. Real talk. Jared used to be a fat boy. So him being in shape, he is pretty impressive. Yeah, he showed his six pack yesterday on the panel. I like that he's not, because at one point in time, he was picking up weight in between fights, and it always takes me to Zion Williamson, right? Zion Williams. I was telling people, I said, listen, Zion is not going to be who you think he is when he makes it to the NBA. He's not. He's doing enough to get the attention and for him to make it in through the door, but that guy has an eating problem. And sure enough, that's what happened. Tearing shoes up because, goddamn it, you can't put shoes on a motherfucking tank, elephant. There's a few tweeners like Gabriel Rosado, who would be acceptable opponents for Berlanga. Shit might be too dangerous. Them vets are crafty enough to upset Berlanga. Man, Gabe Rosado will upset Berlanga, dog. Shit. I see Gabe Rosado upsetting Berlanga, dog. See, man, he wants that fight. Gabe Rosado probably want that fight. I see Danny Jacobs upsetting him, but I don't know what Danny Jacobs, man. I don't know, bro. Like, he's not a bum at all. I don't call fighters bum. He's definitely not a bum. But I don't know, man. Charlie beat the fuck out of Berlanga, in my opinion. That would be a good fight, Mitch. I wish, Charlo's mindset would be like that. But look, As I talk about Charlo, I gotta jump on the side of the team Berlanga. I'm like, will Berlanga take a step up to say they want to fight Amara Charlo? Even him coming up from 60. I don't think they will. Yeah, he beat Rose, but Rose was scared and Berlanga looked bad. So props for the win, but it's nothing to get excited about. Check the box on it. I mean, as he speak on Rose being scared, he was scared too. He said Rose was running, but you was scooting in and shit. Get on your bicycle, come in, goddammit. You know, no, you just stand flat footed, following a man around the damn ring. You have to add more spontaneity to your boxing game there, Edgar Berlanga. You have to. You have to add so much to it that it's gonna. I don't know if you having a quick turnaround is gonna be to your detriment. I think it is. I'm just saying right now. I think the way they pushing them over and over back to back to keep them checks rolling in, I think it might be his detriment because he needs to take time off and learn. He needs to learn. Learn. Educate yourself about the sport of boxing. Learn as you're about to face your first defeat. And if your first defeat is something that is going to be hard for you to recover from, I don't know. I don't know him like that, but it just seems like I'm not saying he ain't training, but I definitely could have thought that he could have turned up on Steve Rose and made it interesting. If you ain't willing to take risks with Rose, like how the fuck are you gonna take risks moving up the higher on the ladder? Rose was a step up, but Berlanga didn't impress, but got the job done. The Chinko moving to 168. Gabe Rosado, Karan Davis, a few fighters to Berlanga, all tricky. Davis probably too small though. I think Darren Chinko would be too much for him too, man. Darren Chinko may have lost to some of the big names. You know what I'm saying? Just like Christian Hammond and all them guys. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jacobs, I have to put him into the equation. You know what I'm saying? He lost to the big names. But Darren Chinko is no slouch. Gabe Rosado at the end of the day is no slouch, man. Karan Davis, will they even take that fight? It's all about if the fight, who they would take in that fight, though. You know? A lot is looking tricky there, Mitch. Because look, the way we're speaking on it is that a lot will be tricky from what we've been watching with Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at every fighter and looking at their pluses and minuses, and we're saying plus wise, a lot of these motherfuckers will be tricky for Berlanga. Off of what we're on our assessment of Berlanga's performance value. A lot of these cats will be tricky for him. I might have to take cruise control Jacobs over Berlanga. I'm telling you, Jacobs ain't no bum, man. He's not nowhere close to one of my favorite fighters or whatever, but Jacobs can box. I mean, he landed on Canelo, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing with Rosado. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, every dance partner is different. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody comes in and want to stunt. He said he wanted to make him eat his words, and I was like, what? Anyway, I can't give Daniel Jacobs too much hype, but when it comes to Edgar Berlanga, it'll be good to see him in there with a notable name like Jacobs. But Jacobs is too much for him, in my opinion, right now. Anthony Durrell is too much for him. Caleb Plant, real talk, boxes circles around Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? He's not too much behind Caleb Plant as far as victories. Oh, man. You know who else? Oh, shit. You know who else I just came to my mind that I think that will fuck That would be a good fight. Hold up. You know who else just came to mind? You know who else just came to mind that would be a good fight for Edgar Berlanga? Lionel Thompson. Yes. He's coming off that win back in December 2019. Look, I don't know what's going on with Lionel Thompson, but if he needs a fight, and look, once again, you're talking about a guy who's coming off a long hiatus. You know what I'm saying? He's been out a year and a half already. Damn near. Let me see. Not longer than that. Longer than that. He's been off over 2 years already. His last defeat was over Jose Uzcategui. He won the UD. He dropped Kostagi round one. You know what I'm saying? But Thompson would be a good fight for Edgar. You know what I'm saying? He has 5 losses, 22 victories, 12 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? One of his losses was via knockout. Yeah, Lonnie B. That would be a good fight for Edgar, man. He's been on a damn hiatus too. Don't be surprised. They might try to step it up and goddamn give him Lionel, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Lionel is a tough cookie, dog. Lionel is a tough cookie. Shout out to Lionel Thompson, man. I got respect for him in a different way, y'all. Y'all laugh your ass off when I tell you too, Mitch. And goddamn Eclipse. I did a full interview with Lionel Thompson in Baltimore. I thought he was Hank Lundy the whole time. I'm calling him Hank the whole time. And it was Lionel Thompson never corrected me once. That is the biggest blunder ever with interviewing. The biggest blunder ever. Thompson never corrected me the whole time. I still got that interview, bro. He never freaking corrected me, and he was never Hank Lundy. I had shit on my mind. I was cross-threading thoughts. But shout out to Lionel, man. At least I just gave him some pictures that I took from his fight back in 2019, y'all. And he was happy as a motherfucker. I shot him in Uzcategui. You know what I'm saying? And he was dope. He said, damn, thanks for the picture, man. They dope. He got down, went up there and forwarded my shit to a whole lot of other people. So shout out to Lionel, man. I got mad respect for you, bro. Cause some fighters in your position, they would say, hold the fuck up. You don't know who I am, man. He didn't do none of that shit. So I always remember that with Thompson. Much respect to you, bro. And of course, I have to address the buffoonery. Of course. Look, on this YouTube shit, man, it's a lot of followers and it's definitely a lot of sheep. We already know that. Look, if you're going to talk subliminally about something you got on your mind and you don't say my name, I'm not going to really, most of the time, I'm not going to really re-engage and try to say, okay, because that's what you want. There's no more chasing whatever you got going on. If you have something to say about WCS, all you got to do is just say my name. I mean, most people know my name, Scotty. I said it in front of my interviews. I don't have no reason to run around here and, use all these damn alias and stuff like that. So, say what you got to say. Just say a name or whatever. Don't do subliminal stuff. And for the guy, I'll let you know, for the guy who was out there running his mouth the other night that has a channel, I'll put it to you like this. Nobody's even thinking about what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. As many times as the video that's been out there with my Michael Williams Jr. and John Bowser. Michael Williams Jr. said yesterday, salute to John Bowser for the win. You know what I'm saying? But he's still out here. This be the same guy who say I don't have that many views, but yet they still mad and angry telling their audience about a certain individuals and goddamn talking about Michael Williams Jr. getting knocked out. Like nobody's even speaking on you, bro. If you have your following over there, use your following. Over here at WCS, nobody's giving a fuck about you. Nobody. I'm not even talking about you or nothing. Don't give subliminal shots, bro. All you got to do is say the name and I'll respond. If you have something to say, containing to me, all you have to do is just mention the name. Say my channel name, my brand name, WCS, World Combat Sports, or say my name in general. One thing I don't do, I'm not sitting up here taking subliminal shots. Certain individuals. No, bro. If you have something to say, just say the name. You cut through all the rhetoric and you get straight down to it. Everybody know Michael Williams lost to John Bowser, but look how much Top Rank didn't even talk about it last night. They didn't even show the clip. If you're a fighter, you have to get past Michael Williams Jr. performance. That's over and done with it. The heat came, he took it, and that's where we at right now. The heat came, we took it, and it's on to the next. That's where we at. But to still be talking about what happened and you coming on my platform, first of all, I didn't wait for Michael Williams Sr. to come on nothing. You was in my chat talking, and then I let you on. He was coming on for us to chop it up, and I let you on. It wasn't anything pussy about it. Now you should definitely know who you are. I don't have no time for this dude. You still talking about bets and paying money? Dude, you need more time spent on creative content. Because like I said before, you don't fuck with black fighters. Once again, I repeat, you don't fuck with black fighters. Most of your entire intro is Puerto Rican fighters. Shakur Stevenson, the only reason you put him up there was because his dad is Puerto Rican. That's it. If Shakur Stevenson was straight African American, he didn't have no biracial DNA in his body, he wouldn't even be on your intro. And once again, whenever you want to come over here and talk some boxing, cool. But as I said before, you don't know shit about boxing. D-Ray in the building. What's good, man? D-Ray Promotions. WCS salute to you. Sound like 150 took his loss in the right way as a lesson, which is always good. Man, 150 is a good dude, man. But, the way they was coming at him on here in the YouTube, I could sit up here and say, that was some like fuckboy shit or whole shit. But it happens. But people cheering for the demise of Michael Williams Jr. was crazy. All because of WCS was up here hyping him up, promoting him. Because I know him. I've been in Vegas with this guy. I've been on the ground floor when he was fighting coming up, just like anybody who know these fighters. But they up here cheering and cheering, talking about he got knocked out. So fucking what? You got people you support on your channel that's taking a loss. You know what I'm saying? But yet they was going to Michael Williams Jr. because of his following, his damn huge fan base that he has out in Jersey, Fayetteville, all that shit. He has a huge fan base. The only notoriety Bowser has ever gotten in his career was off Michael Williams Jr. And look, I'm not even talking about his performance last night. We all seen it for ourselves. I didn't even jump on here and be petty and talk about his performance. We got more things to talk about. Bowser never did anything to me. Bowser's about that. I've covered Bowser. Look, I've covered Bowser more times than that individual that's running his mouth. I've covered him before. Not just when he fought Michael Williams, but I covered him when he was in Newark. Bowser never did anything to me. Bowser about that smoke. He even showed it in pockets in his fight last night. but I don't rate his performance all that. You know, this guy's coming off a hiatus, and you know his performance was okay, but he won the fight. I ain't a hater like that. I covered Bowser before that, but for some scoundrel ass belly dragging ass snake, you know, they just want to hype it up when you got my number. You still the same bum ass nigga that I knew before. You know what I'm saying? Don't send subliminal shots. Just say the name. If you just say the name, and then that's where it's at, man. Then I have an understanding of who you talking about. But since you didn't say my name, I'm not even gonna pretty much bring it up to the surface. I'm gonna leave it alone. But I know, you know, they wanted to hate on Michael Williams Jr. because your whole intention was to target me. There's some type of jealousy or something right there because your catalog can't fuck with mine. Your catalog can't fuck with mine. Your boxing knowledge can't fuck with mine. You don't fuck with black fighters. You don't know shit about boxing. So I just gave you some shit to, you know, do another live about and create your content. If you ever want to have a boxing debate, let me know. I will burn that shit down quick. You can't fuck with me in MMA. So, you know, you best around stick for boxing. I don't care who you train in boxing. When you have a brother's number and then you want to play like it was some type of vendetta I had against you, you a snake. They went at him because they dislike you. Very strange, to be honest. That's all what it was there, Mr. Pass. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Pass on deck. That's all what it was. But you saw what the panel was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the team. Shout out to the team, man. To everybody who pulled up. I had the whole crew up, you know, and everything. And that's what it was. That's what my support. That's family to me. You know what I'm saying? That's family to me. Big shout out to the legend for pulling up. For those of you, check out the interview on YouTube. I'm gonna cut out. I'm going to you know, break that down, split it into segments, and repost it. You know what I'm saying? Because there was some good points in there, man. There was some very, very good points. You know, all those fighters that you seen on the panel yesterday was his pupils. That's my focus. I'm not worrying about little snake ass motherfuckers that's on this YouTube shit trying to start beef to drive their channel and to drive others to tune in to what they're talking about. Real talk. That's not what I'm about. But when you hear me speak on somebody, obviously I'm still on their mind. Michael Williams didn't fought December of 2021. But yet, just because John Bowser is coming up, you have to revisit this shit. And then talking about, I let you on the panel only when Michael Williams Sr., what you thought was pussy. That's you just thinking at the bottom of the barrel like I expect. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? We both in our 50s. What the fuck are you talking about? Pussy. I didn't even say too much about anything until you start issuing threats. But as far as pussy goes, and all the other pussies who sit up here and follow behind this dude, I'm up here shooting a fight. Everybody should know from looking at my catalog, I have my own camera equipment. I was shooting a fight. The fight's over, and they take the social media. Why take the social media when you have my number once again? You have my phone number. You have my phone number, and you choose to take the IG. What does that say about the men we're dealing with? You have the phone number of somebody, but you never gave me a Cash App. But you're on IG saying, oh, I wonder if you're going to pay my money. I never had your Cash App. So this is the crazy part about the lack of intelligence of some of these people. He never gave me his Cash App to pay the bet. So my boy, my fam, Michael Williams Sr., went to his live, dropped $50. I never had his Cash App. So the only way for me to pay him the money, I'm waiting to see if this dude gonna text me the Cash App or whatever. I'm not gonna do your homework for you. I give it to him on YouTube. But the whole point of My conversation is that shit. They fought in December, bro. We're in March, and only because John Bowser was stepping up, you wanted to bring up me. But you still haven't vendetta me and all this. Look, and this goes for all the other mutts that are running with you. I don't give a nothing about anybody else that's clicking up together about me. I'm over here doing my thing. All the other mutts that choose to run around and that little crowd and always want to cause beef with people that they don't know. All right, cool. But know this, Michael Williams Jr. never said any fucked up shit to y'all or nothing. Just because John Bowser, every time John Bowser come up now, you're going to mention Michael Williams Jr. Now you clout chasing. You gave him his first loss. Now you continue to clout chase and get a reaction out of me. There's a whole lot of shit you can be creating content on. But every time John Bowser comes up to fight, you're going to talk about Michael Williams Jr. when you don't even know the kid. You never met the kid. None of that shit. Bro, he's a cool dude. He even gave John Bowser a salute. He said, shout out to John Bowser, salute. John Bowser, man, he's about that. He got the job done. He ain't no pussy. John Bowser's about to smoke. His team is about that. So what else are you looking forward? You on here on YouTube trying to start beef. And that's what I talk about, the snake mentality of cowards like you. You want to try to start beef on YouTube to get more people to tune in on a good guy. You know what I'm saying? All because WCS brought this shit up. You want to say Michael Williams Jr. You want to put him out there and laugh at it. That shows you're not a true boxing fan. You know who you are, man. And I know you're listening too. So since you're listening, check this out. You know, since you're listening, you know, I'll put the link in the chat. You know, so I give you 5 minutes. You want to jump on here instead of taking subliminal shots, and we can talk it out. You know, leave the threats behind, because you know I'm not worried about the threats like that. But if you want to jump on and, you know, get some off your chest while you're still talking about Team Williams, you can, bro. I don't have nothing bad to say about John Bowser. I still took pictures and did what I had to do. I cover him more in person than you've covered him. But I will step up when it comes to Michael Williams and say, you know what? I ain't never even seen this dude use obscenities of vulgarity when it comes down to it. He's a good guy in general. He's a damn good support system in his parents, and he has a huge fan base to be a boxer who never fought for a world championship. You know what I'm saying? So come on, don't be scared, man. Don't be peeking in through the window, hitting the volume button. Cause I know them little mutts running over there and telling you what they telling you. I'm here. I ain't gonna put you in the background. I just want you to get this off your chest so you won't even go there anymore. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what my name, as far as what you got to say. What is it exactly you got with me, man? You keep on talking in circles. Not you. You know, not you talking in circles and taking subliminals. But the link is in the chat, bro. Because, you know, I say names. I say the names, but I'm not saying your name right now because why? Because I did not hear my name. All you did that kind of got my attention is that I knew you was predictable enough when John Bowser was coming up that you want to keep on mentioning a knockout that you predicted. So fucking what? We took a fight at a lower weight class outside of 47 and we was wagering. John Bowser got the win. Salute to Team Bowser, bro. Look at all the comments over there on IG. Look how they came at me with prejudiced, racist comments. I never even engaged with them dudes, man, because the fight was over. When I was down there by myself in the lobby over there in NYC, Bowser's pops shook my hand and all that shit. They are who they are. They about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I was there by myself though. That energy wasn't like that. They would say, "Oh, congratulations, we didn't mean." I said, "Well, who said this on my phone?" They said, "Oh, he's just that and the other. We apologize." That's where I left it. Now, of course, Bowser them posted the clip. Why? Because that's his performance. Why not? He posted the performance. Team Williams, we all seen that shit. We all seen the comments and people, hyping up. But Bowser cannot use that himself anymore. He looked okay yesterday in getting that victory. But my point is, you sat up here and pretended that it was a beef after we spoke behind the scenes to build up the promo for this fight, and you flipped it and made it seem like it was a beef between me and you. That's selfish. That's extremely selfish there, for real. Because you made it about me and you when it was supposed to be about Michael Williams Jr. and John Bowser. And to say something's pussy only tells me that you haven't gotten over it, bro. All the shit you said about me behind the scenes, because them mutts, they run and tell everybody. They came back and tell me all the shit you was trying to do behind the scenes and saying about me. I still haven't got that link clicked though. What's going on? What you represent, bro? Puerto Rico. Oh, Puerto Rico. Hey. I mean, click the link, bro. Don't need to talk subliminals. Click the link. Get it off your chest, man. Let's talk boxing. You ain't gonna talk boxing with me because you know you'll get smoked. You know about your Puerto Rican fighters, that's it. As far as talking about boxing as a whole, in general, you know you can't even touch it. So since you're not willing to click the link, I gave you ample amount of time. Just let that shit go, man. Nobody ain't trying to beef. I ain't trying to have no back and forth with somebody like yourself. It's not even worth it. You don't have no value. You can't fuck with my catalog, bro. You can't fuck with my catalog, bro. Don't talk subliminals. All you have to do is say WCS or my name. You know who I am. You know what it is. Let's talk boxing. If you got something that you need to vent, do it. But leave Michael Williams Jr. out of the equation. Nobody's talking about that. They gave the heat. The people on YouTube gave their heat. They said what they had to say, man. The shit is done. Look, Top Rank didn't even show one freaking clip from him knocking down Michael Williams Jr. What does that tell you? They did not even show one clip. All they did was mention that he defeated Michael Williams Jr. last fight. They moved on. What more do you want? They didn't even show one clip. One fucking clip, dog. Teach on deck. What's good? Maybe Yildirim can be a good fight for Berlanga. Damn, Mitch throwing mad shots to the body for real. Mr. Pad, WC off topic, but how did Roy Jones get to become the trainer of Williams? Did Williams team reach out? Are they from the same city and met in the gym or something? I did a live about that with his pops, about how they end up meeting Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? It was through a mutual friend. You know, of course, Michael Williams Jr. had to come down there and like everything, they had to come down there and train so he can be looked at. You know what I'm saying? That's how that, it's a lot that went into that, but he had to go down there and train and have Roy take a look at him. And then it went from there. He's been with him ever since. You know, I have to find where I had him on and take that clip and post it. You know what I'm saying? That's a good question. It's a good question, but we look at it like this. Like that's a good kid right there. I can't call him a kid because the dude's in his low 20s. He's a man. But he don't go up here and do none of this YouTube shit. He don't fuck with nobody like that. John Bowser, you know, the only thing he did, he posted the clip. That was him. He was able to get the knockdown. But one thing you know about John Bowser is he has that tenacious side of him. He is a competitor. He's not the best junior welterweight in the sport, in my opinion. I don't see him as one of the best, but he does have that dog. You know what I'm saying? He has some growing to do, but he ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no punk. Neither is Michael Williams Jr. But it's just a whole deal where it comes out in social media where people get off track with the constant beef, and talk about this person. If my views is not to your satisfaction, why are you talking about people I deal with? It should go in hand with one another. Like, if you don't consider my channel important, why even talk about the same people again? That's something that happened in December. And then you bring it up again and telling your audience, talking about you faced this, that, and the other controversy. It wasn't nothing. You lied again and said the disrespect came your way. That's an absolute lie, people. That's an absolute lie. The disrespect never came his way. Initially, he brought it. I got the receipts behind the scene of where he has my phone number, and we already spoke about hyping this fight up because Top Rank wasn't going to do it. And he turns into a position for him because he never liked me. He turns into an opportunity for him to start making it a pretended beef between me and him. That's all that was. Because you got people on here that if they don't like a certain channel, they'll sit around and dislike every fighter that channel supports. And that's what I'm talking about, not knowing shit about boxing. Because regardless how critical I am about Errol Spence, I still give him credit comparable in a situation with him being a boxer. I don't care if he gives me credit or not. I still give him credit as a boxer in certain cases that he warrants that credit. I'm not going to sit up here and say just because my boy Everything Boxing, they support Errol Spence heavy, I'm going to sit up here and show hate and shade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always go over there and they got a heavy Errol Spence following. That don't mean I'm throwing no shade their way. That's who they support heavy. But with this snake right here, he sit there and support Puerto Rican fighters all the time. I don't even care. But don't act like you a true boxing head and want to cause beef with me when you don't even like black fighters. You have nothing but Puerto Rican based fighters on your intro. You don't care about black fighters, bro. And you act like you care to have black friends. But in reality, I don't even think that's the case. How can you have an intro full of Puerto Rican fighters? And then if I had an intro full of black fighters, you'll say, oh, you don't even like Hispanic fighters. That's why I get where people try to criticize black channels for supporting black fighters, but no one's talking about individuals who support nothing but Hispanic fighters, which I don't have a problem with. But don't act like it's good for you and not good for me. I'm neutral, cut it down the middle, do what I got to do. But all I'm telling you all, don't believe all the hype. It ain't no beef between me and that snake. It's no beef. It's no beef. You know what I'm saying? All the shit that person saying behind the back, you have my number. Same number you've had. You have my number and you don't call nobody up. That's man shit right there, right? You know, these motherfuckers go around throwing threats around and shit. No, we passed that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Nobody's taking that shit serious. Don't do it. Don't do it. You have the number of somebody, but you didn't call it. But yet when John Bowser pops back up, you back to talking shit and calling and saying, you know, what I did was pussy. I'm not even talking about you, man, at all. Let it rest. Focus on creative content on your side. Focus on building up your depth of knowledge because you don't know shit about boxing. Focus on expanding your diversity when it comes to supporting, black fighters, Caucasian fighters, stuff like that. Build up your fan base because you remember what you told me, right? When we was talking, that you was trying to, somehow build up to talk to black fighters. You remember when you telling me that? Like you want to build up your not fan base, but you want to build up your catalog to be able to speak with black fighters, but you don't know any, this, that, and the other. But you know all the Puerto Rican fighters that you have on your intro. And then for somebody who's not educating my audience, they see Shakur Stevenson on there and they say, oh, he got Shakur Stevenson. He don't know these. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson, he's been on record as saying his dad was Puerto Rican. So guess what? Give him a pass. Bring him on into the intro. Put Shakur Stevenson up there. That's biased as hell. But hey, I'm not worried. I don't care. But you heard me. So I put the link down there as always. No traction. You know what I'm saying? So since there's no traction, I have no problem pulling up. I have no problem, but I'm not going to give you that space right now because you didn't say my name. Say my name and I'll pull up. That's all. That's all. I'm not going to give you. Say my name and I'll pull up. Put it in the chat and I'll pull up. Let's talk some boxing. I don't want to hear all that other shit you be on and all that. Talk about the fight with John Bowles and Michael Williams. Let me educate you a bit because you don't go out here and cover these fights like I do. Let's educate ourselves on Michael Williams Jr. and what happened that night and how weak he was walking to the ring. All you gotta do is look at my live yesterday, and that'll educate you on a lot of shit. But you got your channel. Say my name, put the link in the chat, and I'll react. I'll respond. Real talk. And to all them other motherfucking shiesty ass mutts that roll with you and be talking shit about me, like I said, I put the link in the chat. Because I don't even know half of y'all motherfuckers. I say to myself, I'm pretty much kicking it on this side. But when it comes down to YouTube, they love starting goddamn beef with and discontent and animus with people that's focused on boxing, bro. If you want to see how much I contribute to the sport, go to my IG and check out my content. But that's all I got, man. I'm not going to continue to goddamn, sit up here and fill the hearts of those who are unworthy to have my attention. But I just heard you speak on some shit because, like I said before, people talk. You know what I'm saying? The people that you think are close to me and you think they're gonna befriend me, I can see a mutt coming up for with bad intentions from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? That's what mutts do. So let me know. Next time you do a live, all you gotta do is say my name and drop the link in the chat. Let me know. Until then, man, I'm out, man. I ain't talking about this no more. The fight is over. Bowser's already defeated Tony Martin. Let's move on. You shouldn't even be talking about World Combat Sports and all this other shit. That's done. You're still talking about you got on here and told Michael Williams Sr. that his son was going to get a lie. But man, I'm out.